Beaming to you on location from the Average Home Theater, nestled deep in the heart of Cajun country, welcome to Fave 5 from Fans. I'm your ever-enthusiastic host, Jamie Ray, and I am thrilled to have you join us for another exciting episode of the podcast dedicated to all things favorite. Let's welcome our guest, make some waffles, and dive right into our favorite picks. So, greetings to all of you out there in the podcast universe. Guess who's back with me? It's the one and only Nelson G. TK44421 himself.
Hi.
We're here to gab about our 5 favorite Eddie Murphy movies. And this episode is extra special because the new Netflix movie, Axel F, drops July 3rd.
Yay.
Which, as of right now, is tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
But when you hear this, I don't know. I may put it out tomorrow.
A little time travel?
Yeah.
We got Doc behind us.
Let's maybe put it out tomorrow. We'll see. So we figured this would be the perfect time for us to share our faves with you. Nelson, why don't you tell the people how we came to this topic?
Well, I love Eddie Murphy. Growing up, that's when he was in his prime, and that's whenever Eddie Murphy was huge. And just like Tales from the Crypt, I was probably way too young to watch most of his movies.
Right.
But nonetheless, I grew up watching Eddie Murphy movies, and I just love him. I think he's hilarious. And the reason why I chose Eddie Murphy movies more than roles, because I like when he's the main character and he has like his ensemble cast of all the other comedians and stuff like that. And to me, that's his best work. So that's why I chose this.
Okay. And it was a good pick because, like I said, usually we do roles, but you came up with it. So your topic. I like that. I think, is there anything you want to say before we get started?
I don't know. I mean, I think we're probably going to have some crossover.
Oh, I do too.
But there's no particular order except number one.
Oh.
Number one is the only one that is my absolute favorite Eddie Murphy movie. But all the rest, it was like, I don't know, just kind of, they could have all been in place of each other. They could have all been twos. Right. Gotcha. I like them all the same.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, I assume you have honorable mentions.
I do. How
many do you have?
I have 3. I broke the rules.
But 3's not too bad.
Right. I mean, I tried. I was like, I'm a rule follower. I wanted to do only 2.
Yeah.
But like I said, because I love his stuff so much, it was hard for me to come up with only 2 honorable mentions. So I had to put a 3rd one in there.
I think that's fine. So why don't you go ahead? If you've never seen the show before, honorable mentions are used for something that maybe you just couldn't get into that Fave 5 just for whatever reason, or it's really bad but you love it, or it just has to be mentioned for some other reason. So I say let's kick it off.
Okay.
Give us your honorable mentions.
So my 3rd honorable mention, or number 3, is and the reason why this one's number 3 is because it's one of his newest ones, and that's Dolomite Is My Name in 2019.
Yeah.
Producer Nick came to the house. We watched it here in the Average Home Theater, and we had low expectations. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was, and the main reason we watched it was because years ago, probably 20-something years ago, him and I watched Dolomite.
Okay. I was going to wonder if you were familiar with it.
We watched Dolomite. He probably still has the VHS, or he had it, or maybe it's the DVD, but either way. And the reason we watched Dolomite and how we heard about it, being a couple of white boys, you didn't really hear about Dolomite growing up. No. But we heard about it from the movie The Great White Hype.
Okay.
And Damon Wayans' character, James the Grim Reaper Roper or whatever, before his boxing match, he was watching Dolomite. He said, "It's my inspiration tape." And it looked so cheesy that we just tracked it down and watched it. So, but the movie, it's a biopic,
right?
And it's fascinating.
It really is.
The story was very fascinating, and Eddie Murphy killed it.
He sure did.
He was great. So I was very excited to see Eddie Murphy in a new movie, kind of back to form.
Right.
It just felt like old Eddie Murphy, or classic Eddie Murphy, I should say. So that's why it made number 3.
Well, that's a great one.
On my honorable mention.
I would applaud you, sir.
Next is another 48 Hours. And 48 Hours didn't make my list either, even though I love both of them. But I think I like the second one better. And the first one's probably a better movie.
Okay.
But I grew up watching the second one.
Well,
I don't think I saw the first one until I was an adult.
Yeah.
So part two has that special place.
There you go. That's why it's about favorites.
Right. So that's my second honorable mention. And number one in honorable mentions is Trading Places. And it was very difficult to not put it in the top 5. Excuse me.
Well,
I did it in the favorite 5 because of, the other 5 I just like so much. But I do watch Trading Places every Christmas.
Yeah.
It's like Die Hard.
Movie.
It's like Die Hard. It's in the rotation.
Gremlins.
Or Gremlins. It's in the rotation. I love Trading Places. Yeah. It's hilarious.
It's a great movie. It is a great movie with a great cast.
And I would love to quote most of these movies. But the majority of them contain expletives.
Yeah.
So we can't really quote any of these movies. I think almost all of them that I picked are rated R. So.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, he has done a bunch of Disney-ish movies lately too. He did the Dr. Dolittle, and he did the
Clumps, the Nutty Professor.
Yeah,
those are PG-13.
But yeah, I think he really shines when he's being
crass.
Yeah. That's good. That's cool. Well, cool. That's some great ones. It's a good way to start. I am going to parry that with my 2 honorable mentions because I follow the rules of my show when I want to, and I don't follow them when I don't want to. My first honorable mention is Mulan, and where he played Mushu, the dragon.
I've just recently seen that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never watched it, but my daughter loves it.
Oh, yeah. So it's a great movie. We've watched it a bunch of times. Came out in 1998. Had a budget of $90 million and brought in $304 million.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah, I think so. So basically, he is a small Chinese dragon, and he's the guardian of Mulan's family. But in his history, he's kind of let them down a couple of times. So as the Mongol horde is coming to China, all of the able-bodied men have to go. And so Mushu goes with Mulan, who was a girl, and cuts her hair and acts like a boy, and he's there the whole time. And I love the interaction between the two of them, but I like even more with the cricket.
Oh, yeah. So the cricket doesn't really speak, right?
No, he doesn't speak.
Yeah.
So I'm doing something different. I'm going to give you the Rotten Tomato scores.
Oh.
Okay. For whatever reason, it does not have a tomato score. It has a popcorn.
The audience score, yeah. Well, this is usually audience, and that's your critics.
Right. Okay. And the audience gives it a 92% rating.
Yeah, it's a good little flick. Like I said, I don't even think I've seen it all the way through.
Oh yeah.
But I go in the living room, my daughter's watching it, and he's on screen, and you dishonored your cow, or whatever it is. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
No, it's funny. Michael came over to the house the other day, McManus.
Oh yeah.
And we recorded, and he was wearing that shirt.
Oh.
So it's pretty cool. So this was for you, Mike. My other honorable mention is going to be Professor Sherman Klump in The Nutty Professor. Back from 1996, had a budget of $54 million and made $274 million. You're going to see this over and over again. All of these movies that Eddie Murphy was in banked.
Killed it. Because they're inexpensive to make.
Mm-hmm.
Probably of that 50-something million, half of it was his salary.
Right. And then a lot of effects, too.
So. Oh, yeah, the bodysuits and all the different makeup. Right. His grandma's great.
As we say, and then he plays all but one of his own family. So a lot of it. If you're not familiar with it, it's actually a retelling of The Nutty Professor from Jerry Lewis. Okay. And it's basically.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you've never seen this one? Okay.
No, I've seen this one. I hadn't seen the Jerry Lewis.
It's Flavey. Oh, no. Basically, it's a research scientist, Sherman Klump, who is very kind-hearted but morbidly obese. And he falls for a young lady who's Jada Pinkett Smith. Mm-hmm. And he has this serum that he's going to be trying to get so he could lose weight. But instead of losing weight, or not just losing weight, it also brings out a different personification.
Like an alter ego.
An alter ego, exactly. And so then it's a matter of, and that's Buddy Love is what he calls himself. And at that one, he's, his normal trim self, and he's always wearing like workout clothes and stuff. Murphy plays a total of 7 different characters in this movie. And I think it's a lot of fun, especially everybody, even if you haven't seen this movie, you've seen them sitting around the table.
Yep.
And, Hercules. So, love that one. The critics gave it a 64%, and the audience gave it a 44%.
That's interesting.
It is.
That it's so
but
low.
It banked,
I mean, when I was, what year was that?
This was 96.
So I was 16 years old. I mean, the movie was hilarious, and everybody liked it. So I don't know anybody that didn't like it. Why it would get a 44% audience score.
I have no idea.
But it's rigged.
It is. And it's crazy because you're going to see a pattern develop where both of those two numbers
are vastly different.
Usually are very close. So this one was the one that kind of threw me off. But as you go on, you're going to see some more that are like 73 and 85.
Yeah. Okay.
91 and 93 or something. So anyway, enough about that. Let us bounce back to you and give me your number 5.
Number 5. This is perfect timing because this is the whole reason we're doing this. Beverly Hills Cop. Now there's an argument to be made that part 2 is the best one. Part 3 is the worst. Mm-hmm. That's the one in the theme park. It's really bad. I recently watched it. I'm like, people who watch my show know that I'm kind of a purist, save for Another 48 Hours. But I usually like the first of everything, like the original, and that's kind of how I am with this one. I love the original one.
Slumber Party Massacre, number 1.
There's like 4 of those, huh?
House, number 1.
Man, I watched House 2 recently.
Oh, it's a good one. Oh, yes, that's good.
No, it's terrible.
Oh, I love that movie.
I was fighting sleep.
Did you notice that George Wendt is in the first House, and in the second House, it's John Ratzenberger?
Oh, from Cheers. Yeah,
they're both from Cheers. Mm-hmm. Anyway, okay. Yeah. Anyway, back to your number 5 then.
But anyway, so yeah, I just love Beverly Hills Cop. Seeing how he meets Taggart and what's his name? Judge Reinhold's character.
I don't know. It's your notes,
I'm forgetting his name already. Anyway, hey man, off the old noggin.
I was fixing to say, go in your notes there.
Yeah, there's no notes. It's just
straight off the dome.
Straight off the dome. That's how I do here. But anyway, when he first meets Taggart and Judge Reinhold, and then Bogomelt, the lieutenant, they were so like just straight and narrow. When he was fascinated with how clean everything was at the Beverly Hills PD and all of that. So I don't know. It's really funny.
Right.
But yet serious at the same time. It's a serious movie, but it's also very funny. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's investigating a murder with one of his best friends.
Because once you get to part 2, they really lean more into the comedy, I think. So, but yeah, Beverly Hills Cop. That's my number 5. I love it.
I like it. I'm gonna go against that, and I am going to choose Billy Ray Valentine in Trading Places.
Trading Places.
Just talked about that. Once again, budget of $15 million, box office $120 million. Okay, this has got an amazing cast of characters. It tells the story of an upper-class commodities broker, Louis Winthrop III, who's played by Dan Aykroyd.
And he does a phenomenal job.
Everybody in this one does a phenomenal job. Poor street hustler, Billy Ray Valentine, played by Eddie Murphy. They basically have their lives upended and crossed. And all because the Duke brothers... Don Amici and Ralph Bellamy. Randolph and Mortimer, exactly. Are making a bet out of it to see if they can do it. But along the way, with the help of Ophelia, Lady of the Night, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. This is one of the scenes where she's topless.
One of her. Fact. Yeah.
Not very many either. This was 83.
I think she was very young. I mean, she had just done Halloween.
Right.
And a couple of years before that.
Prom night.
Prom night.
Yeah. So she was trying to make it. But it's a quick on, a quick off. It was a good segue in the movie. It wasn't one of those things
I remember it
just,
vividly.
Yeah. But they all work together to overthrow the Duke's plans and dispense justice with a side of orange juice.
They stick it to the man.
And if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about.
For the usual amount.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
$1.
$1.
$1 bet.
That was crazy. So the Rotten Tomatoes critics gave it 88 and the audience gave it 85.
Makes perfect
right
sense.
next to each other. Right next to each other. So, all right. Well, since you're next to me, why don't you give me your number 4?
Number 4, Coming to America.
Now, Coming T.O.
No. Yeah. The original
Not
one.
I
didn't even bother watching the second one.
Really?
I don't want to dilute anything.
Okay, that's fair.
I heard too many not good things about it. So yeah, no, I didn't even bother watching it. I'm not going to.
Okay.
But the original one, seeing him play all the different parts, Arsenio Hall was great.
Yes.
And then he played, multiple characters, the preacher and all that good stuff. James Earl Jones as King, was it Joffrey?
Joffrey. Yeah.
Just
not Joffrey.
Just a great
And
movie.
Madge Sinclair as the Queen.
Who's she? What is she from?
Star Trek. No, she's been in tons of other things.
Okay.
But she plays Geordie LaForge's mom
in
Star Trek,
Generation?
Next Generation.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. And I think she played a admiral or a captain in one of the movies. Star Trek 4, I think. Anyway, I know you're a huge Star Trek fan.
The owner of McDowell's.
Not McDonald's.
Not McDonald's. He has the Big Mick.
That's right.
Not the Big Mac.
Nope.
He's great. I can't think of his
John
name.
Amos.
John Amos.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
He could play anything from like Die Hard 2, where he's just a hard nose, and in this one where he's kind of a hard nose, but he's just funny. His comedic timing.
And then you go back
great.
to Good Times.
Good Times. And then what was the other one he was also in a recurring role in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was gonna be Will Smith's father-in-law.
Oh, okay.
The girl he was gonna marry, if I'm not mistaken, it was her dad.
Oh, cool.
So yeah,
he's a great actor.
Yeah, I like him, and he's funny in it. So yeah, Coming to America, man. Growing up, we used to quote that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Especially the scene where
not around
they're
our
interviewing
parents, but
women.
we quote it.
And Arsenio shows up, at that point. That dude was something else, man.
The barbershop scene.
Mm-hmm. And like you
Rocky
said,
Marciano.
The where he's in church and he's preaching with his. That's all. And it is. It's a great movie. I'm surprised it got all the way to number 4. So
yeah, it's one of the faves.
I hope mine.
But like I said, these are kind of interchangeable except for number 1. Number 1 is my favorite Eddie Murphy. So
yeah.
All the rest of them, it's like there's no particular order.
Well, sometimes you really surprise me that you have such good tastes.
Well, I try.
Because I too chose Coming to America.
Great minds.
Boom.
Great minds.
73% from the critics and 85% from the audience. It had $36 million budget and made upwards to $350 million. Okay.
It's no wonder Eddie Murphy was in everything. He made so much money.
That's right. And do you remember who plays the robber who comes into
Sam
McDowell?
Jackson. Yeah.
Sam Jackson. That's right. That is right. Good job, man. I like that. And another great performance, even though he's a complete ass, Eric LaSalle.
Oh, the Soul Glow?
The Soul Glow. Plays Daryl Jenks.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's very good.
He plays a doctor, ER or something?
Yeah, he did for a long time. Yeah. But no, great movie. I couldn't say much more about it. He's a wealthy prince who comes from the African nation of Wakanda. Sorry, I mean Zamunda.
Zamunda.
Totally different. And it's his 21st birthday, and he's supposed to be in an arranged marriage, but instead
he goes to sow his royal oats.
That's it. So great movie.
Good movie.
Fun
fact. Producer Nick just watched that like last year.
Really?
For the first time.
Wow.
Yep. One of his many questionable choices.
Has he seen Body Parts?
No.
Okay, well, it's not so questionable.
He has not seen the masterpiece that is Body Parts.
Want to arm wrestle?
Oh, dude. All right, so my number, what is it? We're on three, right?
Number 3.
Harlem Nights, 1989.
Oh, okay.
This one, a lot of people are not too crazy about.
He's not really super funny in it, right?
I think he is.
Oh, he is? Okay.
I think the whole movie's hilarious. Red Fox.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I mean, what's her name? From
Carmen Miranda? What is it?
Della Reese.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was on the tip of my tongue. Della Reese.
Mm-hmm.
Just hilarious movie.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor. They're gangsters. It takes place in Harlem during Prohibition.
At night, right?
Yeah, at night.
Yeah.
Hence the name. Eddie Murphy's character's name is Quick, and he's raised by Richard Pryor's character, who is Sugar.
Okay.
Sugar, I forget what his
and
last
Spice.
name is, but he owns a speakeasy, and Eddie Murphy is his muscle. And of course, they start getting strong-armed by a rival gang. Actually, no, Arnold Rothstein, who's a real person. Arnold Rothstein, and is there Arnold Rothstein?
I don't know. This movie's
either way. They start getting harassed by another gang trying to take over and corrupt police. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think it's funny, and most people would not put it in their favorite Eddie Murphy movies, but it's one of my favorites.
Well, that's awesome, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I would not have chosen that one probably ever. I've seen it once and never seen it again.
I watch it often.
Yeah.
I watch it often. It's
all
a good
right.
one.
Well, let's see what my number 3 is, and it is Dolomite Is My Name.
You must have really liked it.
I did. I grew up watching exploitation. Well, let me say that. Exploitation movies, because you've got, the karate, the Chinese, and you've got the blacks, and you've got all of these different versions of exploitation. But for me, from what little I really know about him, because it was, I was really young. He came out in the 70s. Is first, he was a comedian, and he actually had to borrow money from his aunt to press his own records to sell them out of his car. Mm-hmm. And then he started, getting more and more popular. And then he was able to start making the movies, and he was all about kung fu, but he couldn't do kung fu.
He couldn't do kung fu, and he's not a good actor.
No,
but he was going to make his movie.
Yes, he did, and he made a lot more after that. And again, this cast is incredible. Keegan Michael Key, Key and Peele, Mike Epps, Craig Robertson, Divine Joy Randolph, and Wesley Snipes were a few of the people. And also there was Chris Rock as Bobby Vale, Snoop Dogg, and Bob Odenkirk. So a great cast, and I think they really did him justice as not making
it didn't come
caricature.
Out right. It didn't come out as they weren't making fun of him.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was so surprised. So was Nick when we watched this. Like, man, this is really good.
Yeah. And I love the story behind how he gets the name Dolomite, because it's really memorable. Well, he's either a bouncer or he's waiting to perform at a club, and this homeless guy just comes in and he's just spouting words out and stuff. And one of the words he says is Dolomite, and he loved it.
He just loved it and rolled with it. I don't remember. That's in the movie?
Yeah.
I do not remember that.
Yeah. One day, homeless man Rico wandered. Oh, it's into the record store that he worked at.
Okay.
So, yeah. Now, again, 57% of the critics and 66% of the audience. And we don't have any box office figures because it was a Netflix
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's kind of shocking that they're that low.
I know, because I thought, I think the subject matter may have been one of the reasons, because a lot of people may not realize who he was.
Yeah, man.
But this was this was one of Eddie's dream projects. because just like you and I grew up watching certain movies and whatnot, he grew up watching those and listening to the records and stuff like that. It'd kind of be like Justin Wilson, that we grew up listening to the I don't know if you did though. Yeah. Anyway. But anyway.
The only Justin Wilson I know is the cook.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that's the kind of thing is you see them and, that's kind of what you focus on.
It was Justin.
Yeah. Oh, man, he was hilarious.
My dad loved him.
I still have some of his records. Yeah. So, okay, well.
So, on to my penultimate.
Well, actually, let's take a break for just a minute.
Okay, sure.
Here we get to number 2 before we make our penultimate choices. What is going on with you?
Very busy at work.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And getting ready for the 4th. The way I always celebrate, because I don't like people. So I stay away from them as much as possible. I don't do big crowds,
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to spend the 4th of July watching Jaws.
Oh,
that's something I always
great. Do. Yeah.
And I just recently watched another movie that was 4th of July, and I didn't realize it. No. Chasers with Tom Berenger.
Oh, wow. That
takes place on 4th of July. Didn't realize that. Watched it this weekend. Worked out.
There you go.
So, yeah, it's slow season for us with the 501st. I went to that Comic-Con in Mississippi where I got to meet Tom Wilson.
Didn't get to meet Keith David.
Didn't get to meet Keith David, which, watch my video and you can listen to that story. But it's slow season, but, we're kicking up starting in August. It's GeekCon, and then everything else just starts. School starts up again and everything. So I am just going to chill out for the 4th. In 2 weeks, I go on vacation, and then we're going to hit the ground running.
All right.
So that's what's going on with me.
And, of course, if you've watched the show before, you know that he has a great YouTube channel called Average Home Theater Reviews. We're going to have the links, of course, at the end. But make sure you go there and especially the VCR unboxing video, because that the
cinematography was great.
Oh, it was wonderful. But I mean, that's actually the point where you can see where he then starts getting the VHS fever. And so, I mean, patient zero right there.
That's it. So, that was the moment.
Yeah.
So the YouTube channel is just Average Home Theater. But the podcast, if you're just listening on audio on Spotify, it's Average Home Theater Reviews.
Okay, thanks for correcting me.
So,
but we'll still
have the same thing. I put the exact same thing on both, so there's no difference. Just I named it different. Don't know why. You do crazy things, and so
that's awesome. All right, well, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Then I think it is time for your penultimate choice.
Okay, 1986, The Golden Child.
Oh my God.
I love The Golden Child.
That's hilarious.
You don't like it?
No, I mean, it's fine, but
man, it's so quotable.
Yeah.
I want the knife. It's just, I don't know. It's hilarious. My brother and I watched it like crazy when we were kids.
Yeah.
I still watch it at least once a year. The Golden Child. Just
that's fantastic.
He's a private detective. He is hired to find a missing teenager, and in the middle of all that, it turns into supernatural Tibetan
monk.
There's magic, there's monsters, and interesting, from what I understand, it was in competition with Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So they came out either in the same year or, within like 6 months of each other.
Mm-hmm.
One was 86 or 87. But, they were kind of like in a race.
Wow.
Because the themes are pretty similar.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but I prefer Golden Child over Big Trouble in Little China, which I do like.
Yeah.
But to me, The Golden Child is just, it's a superior movie as far as the humor and stuff.
Yeah.
And the little guy who plays her dad is also in Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, really?
He's the bus driver.
Okay.
So anyway, I forget his name, but
no, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So I love The Golden Child.
Well, that's a great movie. That's a great pick. Not even on my radar.
Not on your radar.
I've seen it before. I personally think Bowfinger's a better movie, but
Never seen it.
Never seen it.
Not
either.
interested.
Heard it's bad.
Oh, something I found out recently: the Golden Child. It's a boy in the movie, but it's played by a little girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Not sure why they went that direction, but they did.
Who knows?
They shaved the little girl's head.
They're much more mature than we are.
Probably.
So that was probably it.
They couldn't find a little boy to sit down and shut up.
All right. Well, I'm going to lay my penultimate choice on you, sir. That's right. Listen for the sound. That means I made a quarter.
Is it the Golden Child?
No.
Oh.
It's Beverly Hills Cop. Now, I will tell you. So I was keeping my mouth shut while you were talking about all that. $13 million budget, $234 million box office. Okay. Martin Brest was the director. Buddy, just like you said, buddy cop, trying to figure out who killed his best friend in Detroit. He comes here. It's just so many different things. You talk about quotable. For me, it's always take the bananas.
David Wayans. Yeah.
And I will tell you, on international video here, it wasn't until earlier this year that I realized that it wasn't Bronson Pinchot who said take the bananas. I don't know why, but I always associated him, where he's in the gallery, with the guy who gives him the bananas.
Oh, no.
So I love.
You're talking about Serge?
Yeah, Serge is Bronson Pinchot.
Okay, Serge.
Yeah, and he's going to be in the new one too.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
He calls him Serge because he can't say Serge.
There's that whole thing where he keeps trying to repeat his. Oh yeah, no, it's classic. But I loved it too because it really was funny, but also you learned a bunch of stuff. It was kind of like a procedural, especially when he uses the super glue and
I don't know how much of that is legit, but I guess
it was on the movies. It had to be real.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be real. I mean I was a police officer for 16 years and we did that all the time.
All the time. Yeah. But love that film, and again, so close. The critics give it an 83, and the audience gives it an 82. I mean, so it's got to be
movie.
good. Yeah,
good movie.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we're now ready to hear your favorite Eddie Murphy film.
So this came out right around high school graduation and before I joined the military, and it was something when I was stationed at Fort Polk we watched and laughed about because it had just been out a couple of years. Life with Martin Lawrence.
And they're prisoners.
Martin, I mean, those two together are great in this movie, but everybody else, all of the other prisoners, the guard, they're all just fantastic, hilarious. It just, I don't know, it just sticks with me. I can watch it over and over.
Really?
It never gets old.
They do.
What's his name? Man, I'm having a really hard time with names.
Do
today.
you?
Yeah. Well, I always do.
I'm Jamie.
I have a hard time with names, period. But as I'm getting older, it's getting worse.
Ugh.
But
so that guy.
Ding-a-ling.
I don't know, because I've watched that movie once and I never need to see it again.
I cannot believe, and I'm gonna watch this later. I'm like, what's wrong with you, you idiot? Anyway, he's in Transformers. He's the car salesman in the first Transformers. The black guy. Y'all know who it is. Anyway, he's great. Oh man, Bernie Mac. God.
Oh, okay.
Bernie Mac is great. Everybody's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Never gets old to me. Seeing them as young men and then as they progressively get older and, they're wrongfully accused, but then they get their redemption at the end. I don't know. It's just.
Are they like 70 years old or something?
No, they're like in almost 90.
Wow.
When you do the math, they're like in their mid 80s.
Wow.
And they finally get out of prison. So, yeah, that's my favorite Eddie Murphy movie. I love Life.
We are so different on the spectrum for this.
Good. I'm glad.
Can you any guess as to what my favorite?
Life.
No.
Oh.
Seriously, no. We are. You take another guess?
48 Hours.
Nope. One more.
One more guess. Is it something that I mentioned?
Nope. It's nothing you mentioned. We haven't even mentioned it.
Really?
Yeah. So you can either guess or I'll tell you.
Shrek.
I think Eddie Murphy is genius in this film, but again, not just Eddie Murphy, because we're talking about the movie itself. It is a perfect movie as far as I'm concerned. It's funny. It's got intrigue, amazing characters. The gingerbread man just makes me not the gumdrops.
Some of the jokes are older.
Two layers.
Like kids won't necessarily get most of them, so they kind of targeted adults whenever they were making it.
Yeah. And that's a movie that if it's on, I'll sit down and watch the rest of it, even though I know what's coming. But I found some cool things out about the movie. What do you think about it?
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess by the time it came out, I was 21 years old, so I really wasn't looking forward to watching much animated stuff. So I didn't really watch it until my daughter was born.
Oh, okay.
But I do like it, and I think he's great as the donkey.
Yeah, he's wonderful. $60 million budget, box office of $492 million.
Whew.
Okay.
No wonder they made so many of them.
I know. So this is something that I did not know. Shrek was nominated for the Academy Award of Best Adapted Screenplay, and it won the first ever Academy Award for Best Animated Feature.
Interesting.
Pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Also did not know that Nick Cage was originally offered the role of Donkey.
Of Donkey? Oh, wow.
And he turned it down and said he didn't want his voice associated with a cartoon character of a donkey, which is fine. They then went and got Chris Farley. And
did he die right before?
No. He was 5 days away from finishing all of his stuff when he died. Yeah.
So there's Chris Farley recordings out there.
Yes. Most of the movie. But here's the thing. David Spader, which was longtime friend, said...
David Spade.
Oh, Spade. Thank you. It's James Spader.
Yeah, James Spader.
Yeah. Said later on that Chris was really into the role, and that he actually... He thinks it was trying to, I guess, bring him out of what's going on with him. But, anyway, that's a whole nother story. But interestingly enough, they then went to Eddie Murphy and they pretty much rewrote the entire script. I'm sorry, not Eddie Murphy. Mike Myers. Yeah, okay. Mike Myers. And so then they went back and looked at the script and he changed 90% of the movie. So the stuff that you can hear from Chris Farley,
it's different.
It's different movie. Yeah. So anyway, I thought it was, pretty interesting. There is a story reel featuring a sample of the original recorded dialogue that was released to the public in August of 2015. So there you go.
That is an interesting fun fact. I did not know that.
I didn't either. And like I said, I really, really enjoy Shrek. I've seen it as an off-Broadway show before. Hilarious. The guys at CYT did it. And Lily was the Lily Putton greeter who comes out and does the welcome to, and she was fantastic, of course. But
what's sad is I loved the Shrek ride at Universal Studios, and it's gone.
Oh, yeah.
It's gone, but that was a great one.
It was a great one.
What do you call it? They have like a little show while you're waiting.
A puppet show.
Type thing. It's not a puppet show, but there's a
juggling
screen and stuff like that. So when you're waiting to go into the ride,
Paper crafts
was always funny.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's like the movie outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And well, it was inside. Once you went inside, there was a screen and there was a little whatever going on, and I don't know. It was a good little ride. The humor was always good, but I remember one time, whenever my wife and I went, we may not even been married yet. We may have just been dating, but my sister used to live in Orlando, so we'd go like twice a year.
Okay.
It didn't cost anything for.
Yeah, all you had to pay for was to get in.
All we had to pay for was to get in. So anyway, we went, and after we got out the Shrek ride, we went in the back. Well, you exit out the what do you call it? The gift shop, and there's a donkey.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the head, and it's like behind, there's a wall, but he's mechanical.
Yeah.
And I guess there's a comedian.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and so the donkey's talking to you.
Really?
Right.
And it's not just a recording.
It's not a recording because he
asks
you
trash
questions
like that.
And he the voice sounded like Eddie Murphy, so I guess it was just a voice changer. But he roasted me pretty good. It was
really?
it was. So my wife and I walk up. Well, like I said, I don't think we were married at the time, but Jamie and I. My wife's name is Jamie, not him.
I mean,
so
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not us. So we walk up, and he looks at Jamie, and he's like, "Ooh, girl, how you doing?" Type of thing or whatever. And he looks at me. He goes, "How did you get her?" Type thing, right? And I did like this, and he goes, "Oh, you got that green? You got that green?" I said, "Mm-hmm." He said, "Well, you should have bought some better clothes."
Oh,
yeah. So
Lord,
everybody laughed. It was great. I'll never forget that. So whoever that guy was good.
He was good. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all gone now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But you still have your memories.
But I still have my memories.
You still have the wife.
Still have the wife. Yep. Almost 20 years later. Still have the wife.
And as long as you stop buying VHS tapes, you'll have her for long.
They're cheap, man.
You don't have to. It's not me.
My last haul, I got 10 movies for $13.
Can't beat it.
You can't beat that.
She can beat you with a pan if you don't stop.
We've already had to buy furniture so we can accommodate it.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it all up, though. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
The shelf has been sitting down there for about a month now, I guess.
Oh, that's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Where's it going to go?
Right outside where they are right now, sitting in the hallway, stacked.
Uh-huh.
The shelf is gonna go there, and they're gonna
go
in there.
Cool. Well, I dig it, man. Yeah. All right. Well, this is the part of the show where I tell you how wonderful you were, and then we decide.
You're a gracious host.
Oh, thank you. You're actually the host of.
Yeah. So
you're hosting me to host my podcast.
Right. I'm hosting the venue.
True. And
for
again,
your show.
This is such an amazing room.
Thank you.
It really is.
Thank you. It's going to look better once it's painted.
A little bit jealous.
Once it's painted black, it won't be so bright.
And you get the velvet.
The velvet.
Yeah.
It'll be better.
A long shelf underneath that with all your VHS would be good.
I didn't even think about that.
Just right underneath it. Just see. It's just me. Anyway.
And then when my wife gets mad, I'll say, Jamie said to do it.
And then she'll go, oh, okay. Well, that's fine then. Because,
because he said it.
I'm Jamie, two Jamies better than one.
Right.
So, but I would then talk about what we're going to do next. But we already have a list of things we're going to do next. The next recording that we're going to do is going to be for our co-podcast that we're doing together with Average Home Theater and Complete Disarray with Jamie Ray. We'll be doing season 3.
No, season 4.
Season 4.
Because we have 2 and 3. They're on deck.
Yes, 1 just came out last week, and it's getting some really good traction. I think 7 people may have listened to it. So, but if you have a chance, you should go and listen to at least the beginning of it, because it is.
There's a special surprise.
There's a pretty damn special surprise. The thing is, I enjoyed the hell out of it. So I don't care who watches it, I'd love for more people to see it, but if you don't see it, it's okay too. So we're going to do season 4 next, and then our next Fave 5. Do you remember what it is?
No.
I don't either. But I've got because you grabbed 2 or 3 things the last time. So
yeah, every now and then I'll just text you and like, hey, Fave 5, whatever.
3 o'clock in the morning. Ding.
Fave 5 this.
Go to bed, man.
Look, I just got the complete series of Tales from the
I
Dark Side.
saw that, man. That is awesome. Have you started watching it?
I've never seen. No, it's still sealed.
Oh, I
It's
didn't-
brand new in the
Wow.
package, bro. I
So-
haven't even opened it.
I could tell you right now, I've already got a person that I'm making a show on this one. And I will say it here and now. My favorite episode is called A Case of the Stubborns.
Okay.
And it has Brent Spiner in it, who was Mr. Data,
Data, yep.
from Next Generation. But there are plenty, there's like 2 or 3 different Stephen King scripts
Mm-hmm.
for short stories. Word Processor of the Gods is one of them for sure that they did. And they also had a bunch of like George Romero stuff. So it's really a great show. It will look dated because it's that tape instead of film.
Yes, it they said it's even in mono. Like I think it's just a VHS port over to DVD. Like
Okay.
it was never remastered or anything.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's what Tales from the Crypt is too.
Yeah. What the Tales from the Crypt was.
It looks okay.
Yeah, was I think film. So when they put it on VHS.
Oh, you're saying that is videotape.
No.
recorded?
What I'm saying is the Tales from the Crypt. It was recorded on tape.
Right.
I mean, instead of recording
Instead of film, right?
Yeah.
Which is why they can't remaster it. Or
Same
whatever.
thing with Next Generation. You know, they filmed those first couple of seasons
On videotape.
tape, you know, and then they learned the error of their ways. But anyway, it's a great watch. You're going to really enjoy it. There are a few that, you know, maybe miss.
Look, all anthology shows are like that, where it's you like most of them or you like about half of them,
Yeah.
and the other ones are kind of like, eh.
Have you ever watched The Hitcher?
The movie? Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. The Hitchhiker.
No.
It was an HBO anthology series, and it was all about a guy who is a hitchhiker, and he is walking the roads, and he stops and he tells a story, and it's an anthology. Every week it's something different. And I want to say that your girl Tasha Yar there, Denise Crosby, was in one, and I know for sure. Well, I'll say for sure. I'm getting old. That Dale Midkiff from. I was on UPN for a couple of shows, but anyway, it's really good. If you go through that and you're looking for the same type of thing, try to find. It's not on DVD right now that I know of, but you go to so many cons, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's good.
that.
HBO. It went for a few seasons. It was kind of around that same time that Red Shoe Diaries was on Cinemax, maybe. I don't know, but anyway,
Skinamax.
That's it. All right. Well, I think we're done.
I think so. Yeah.
Again, thank you so much for hosting me. You got the silent fans on, so I'm feeling really nice and cool. I've got some tacos that had meat and cheese. You know, it's just what more could someone want? You know,
We try.
you did, and you succeeded. You know, and I want to thank all of you out there in the podcast universe for tuning in to this episode of Fave 5 from Fans. I sure hope you had a blast listening to the episode. And if you did, maybe leave us a rating and a review on your favorite podcast app. It's a way that you can help grow the show. And if you didn't like it, tell somebody that, you know, maybe you're not too fond of, and maybe it'll ruin their day. Who knows? Join us on Twitter, X, at Fave5 from Fans, and tell us about your favorites. Always looking for guests, always looking for new ideas for shows. Reach out, and I've actually had a few people doing it lately, so that's really cool.
Not me.
Yeah. No?
No, nobody reaches out to me. I'd like y'all to.
I'll reach out.
Eh.
New episodes drop every Friday, so hit that subscribe button and follow button and catch them all like a Pokemon.
The bell.
And head over to YouTube and find Nelson at Average Home Theater 4901. Don't do 4902 because that guy's just. And click his subscribe button, and you'll get all kinds of really cool videos. Not only do you talk about his setup in this room, that's incredible, but he reviews movies. Producer Nick comes on.
Right. I try to have a guest every time. Every now and then you get to see just my pretty face, but it's mostly reviewing movies or shows that I watch in the average home theater.
Right.
Every now and then I'll go to the theater and do a little review, but I like to do my reviews on stuff that I watch in here.
Yeah, like Civil War was a perfect example where
Yep,
you were so excited when you came out, you recorded a video.
Man, that was a good show.
Yeah. Still haven't seen
I
it.
have the 4K Steelbook coming out on July 9th.
July 9th. That's next week.
7 days.
That'll be
from
awesome.
Today.
How long was that movie?
2 hours? Right at 2 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't too long.
Yeah. All right. And remember, folks, it may not be the most popular. And remember, folks, it may not be the best. It may not be the most popular. But if it's your favorite, that's good enough for us. Thanks so much for joining us. Nelson, take us out.
Your opinions are your opinions, even if they're wrong.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.